I'm Dr. Christopher Mullane, and today I'd like to share with you the most common causes or reasons that sciatica occurs, and in my experience, the most effective ways of treating the problems associated with it. Now, sciatica occurs primarily due to two reasons: major trauma or minor trauma. Major trauma is in the form of a car accident or fall, whereas minor trauma is something more along the lines of repetitive activities such as bending, turning, or twisting, or even extended sitting for long periods of time would be classified as minor trauma. Now, sciatica is typically due to the sciatic nerve. Now, sciatic nerve is a group of nerves that originate in the low back and kind of form one big nerve. Now, it runs down the leg and actually goes down into the toes. So you can get sciatica or sciatic nerve pressure due to a couple different reasons. One being the joints in the low back, two being the nerve itself, and three being the disc material associated in the low back region. Now, first, the joints. The joints are essentially where two bones come together, and when they're not functioning properly or injured, they create some instability and some pressure, and it accumulates in the joints. And it not only stays in the joints, but it extends out into the nerve. The nerve in the low back, again, it travels down and forms that big sciatic nerve that runs down the back of the leg. So this can cause pain, it can cause muscle spasms, muscle tension, as well as any restricted motion. Now, the sciatic nerve itself can get irritated or pinched, meaning the pressure onto the nerve is traveling down the length of that nerve. And we see different pain patterns when it comes to sciatica. Some patients say, you know what, I feel the pain shooting down my leg. Some patients say it's more tingling or numbing sensations. Or even we have patients that complain of temperature changes, such as their toes or legs going cold. And this is all due to sciatic nerve pressure. And then finally, the disc. The disc in the low back can extend into the nerve area where it just kind of puts pressure onto it or puts a pinching sensation onto the nerve. Now, this is typically in the form of something like a disc bulge or disc herniation, which will cause that pain to, again, kind of travel down the length of that sciatic nerve. It'll cause muscle spasms, muscle tightness and tension, as well as you're not going to be able to move as freely without, causing more irritation onto that sciatic nerve. In my experience, there's three very effective treatments that we like to use in alleviating the problems associated with sciatic nerve or sciatica. And this would be chiropractic spinal manipulation, it'll be electrical muscle stimulation, and finally intersegmental traction therapy. The first, chiropractic spinal manipulation, is a treatment applied specifically to that region of the low back to alleviate any pressure that may be being placed on the joints or the nerves or even the disc. It's going to allow you to reduce the muscle spasms in that area, and it's also going to allow you to have better range of motion, whether it's turning or bending into that region. The second therapy we like to use is electrical muscle stimulation. Now, this applies a gentle electrical current to the affected region in the low back, and what this will allow for is a reduction in any inflammation or swelling, a reduction of pain, also a reduction in any muscle spasms or tension associated into that low back region. You'll be allowed to move a little bit more freely and not have so much restricted range of motion as well. And then finally, the intersegmental traction therapy. This is a therapy where we essentially traction the joints away from one another, allowing for reduction of that pressure into that area. It's going to reduce the pain. It's going to cause the muscle spasms to come down. Your muscles are now going to go from really, really tense and tight to kind of more of a relaxed sensation. And then finally, you're just going to be able to move a whole lot easier during your normal activities. So kind of in summary, when these three therapies are used together, the chiropractic spinal manipulation, electrical muscle stimulation, and intersegmental traction therapy, it can drastically reduce or stop pain. It's going to decrease any muscle spasms, and it's going to allow you to have better range of motion when you're turning or bending. So what does this mean to you? It means a few things. It means you're going to be able to go off to work and not have to worry about these problems associated with the sciatic nerve, such as being able to do your job activities a little bit more freely and more effectively. It's also going to allow you to sleep better throughout the night. You're going to be able to fall asleep better, wake up easier, and not wake up so frequently throughout the night, and just get a whole lot better night's rest or deeper sleep throughout the night. And then finally, it's going to improve your activities of daily living that we call. These are things that you do throughout the day, whether it's getting up and getting dressed, and maybe it's playing with your kids, maybe it's brushing your hair, brushing your teeth. When you're not having the problems with the sciatic nerve, it's going to be able to move a little bit more freely. Even when you're putting your pants on in the morning, kind of bending your knees and using those muscles in the low back, you won't have as much problems doing so. So if you're experiencing sciatic nerve problems or sciatica, please give our office a call so that we can help you. You can reach us at 803 599 5902.